So this is going to be now the advanced parent constraint, which is sort of a continuation from the intermediate parent constraint. So if you didn't follow that video, you can check out the intermediate parent constraint, which is pretty much this part. And now for the advanced, we're going to do the exact same thing we've been doing, but we're just going to add a constraint from, from the hips and the box, that relationship that we're going to be looking at. So, and obviously you guys can check out our website here. Under animation, I have a very basic constraint. So if you're looking for a constraint for just one object and one hand, you guys can check out that one video there. But for this one, is going to be a little bit more of an advanced setup because, like I said, we have the hip moving the box, and then I'm also going to show you how to keyframe it so you can animate it all together and then have the box be released. Alright, so let's say we are going to continue. So let me look here at my notes. So okay, we're going to create the locator, right? Go to locator, and then I'm going to make this one slightly bigger, like size 4, because it's going to be attached I believe to the hips, or no, to the box. So I want to make sure that the locator sort of pokes out of the box here. Alright, and then next thing we do is, I'm just going to rename it right now. So this is going to be the hip. I like capital letters, so locator. Control G to group it. Again, hip, no capitals, underscore GRP for group. And then now if I move up and down with my arrows, you can see I have the hip group and hip locator, right? And now what we're going to do is go to our outliner and go to our parent constraint options. So make sure that's still checked off. Alright. And then here we want to make sure that we have the group selected. So what we're going to do is we're going to parent constraint the group, this one, to this hip control. So whatever control of your character moves the entire upper body like this, that's the one that we're going to parent it. Not one of these, like this just like moves your hip or whatever. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, 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 bang. Alright, too much fun. So we're going to create, attach this, the group first, because that's going to be the thing that's going to drive the box. It's going to move it. That's the leader. And then we're going to select the hip group that we created down here. And I'm just going to hit apply. And that's going to move now the group up to the hip. So if I select this group, notice how it's right in there. Does he have underwear on? Does the texture underwear on this character? That's hilarious. Jeez. Okay. So now that we have that, now when I move that hip control, notice that it moves that hip group, which inside of that hip group is the locator. So let's now attach this box to that locator. So the locator, which is right here, hip locator, or you can also select it here, hip locator. I'm going to now shift select the box or whatever object your character has or is attached to, right? And just hit apply. And what that's going to do is, because we have maintain offset check to off, that's going to move that box pivot point to match the position of that locator, right? That's why it moved weird over here. It looks like a broken chicken or something. And so now to move it in place, just select the box. No, I'm sorry, the locator. Where's the locator? Am I selecting the locator? Yeah. The locator. And just move it into place. wherever you feel you need to position this. So now we're going to be animating the locators, all right? So anytime you want to animate the wrist, animate the locator. If you want to animate the box, animate the locator. And now this should work. So if I grab the hip and move it, that'll move. If I grab the box locator, that'll move. So I can even rename this, as opposed to hip, you can now call it like box, just so you don't get confused. But this hip one, that we're gonna leave it like that because that group is the hip group. And I'll delete that. And that's it. So I'm gonna leave this open because now I'm gonna show you. It should be working fine, but nothing has been set. There aren't any keyframes on this. So if you can see, I just selected the hips and I'm moving this. You can also select now the arm and, you know, move it away or whatever you want. And you can still animate the hips with that offset arm. So now you can definitely animate the arm like moving around on that object, and it's still gonna look pretty neat. Now this advanced setup with the hip, it's mostly only good if your character is walking with an object, right? Because that's the whole point of having this, selecting one controller on the hip and having everything move with it. If you're just gonna have a character like move the box from the ground up to a table, then you can just use the intermediate tutorial. And let me show you here. Just quickly close that. For a quick example, let's just say this was a flying box for whatever awesome creative idea that just came to my head right now. And I want to just bring it up and then let it go. So because right now we have all these weird constraint setups, you know, you might not be familiar with how to key this. So now let's go ahead and just make this like 30 frames long. And I'm gonna go ahead and set keyframes on this. So I'm gonna set a keyframe on the hip down here. I'm going to set a keyframe on this locator down here. I'm gonna set a keyframe on the left wrist locator, on the right wrist locator, and you still need to activate now, because we set keyframes, we deactivated the parenting. So if I move this, okay, no, well, no, actually we haven't set keyframes on the group. So in order to activate the parenting, we need to set a keyframe on the group. All right, so now now that I selected the controllers, the locators, and set keyframes, let me go ahead and go to frame 20, and let me move this character up and forward just a little bit. All right, and notice that the distance between the box and the hip remain the same, because that's the beauty of this, so that we can just animate one. And then you can obviously come in here and animate the box. So frame 20, he's gonna lift it up. He's gonna get ready to fly away. Little flying box. And I need to animate the shoulders, but I'm not gonna do that. You can go ahead and spend time on that. Just trying to make this a quick lesson. So now he's on the floor and he's like, goodbye, box. So he's getting ready here. Now, let me show you here. If you select the groups, these three groups, we have not set a key on the groups. Notice down here on frame 1, there's nothing here. So I'm going to hit S while I have the left arm group selected. And if you quickly look over here on the parent now, for some reason, I don't like Maya on this particular thing. It automatically, when you set a keyframe on the parent, it defaults it to off. You see it says blend parent 0. So it's going to detach everything that we just did, but don't worry about that. I just want to show you right now what happens. So go to right arm group, hit S to key it as well. Just make sure that you understand that this is set to off. And I'm going to go to the hip, hit S, and again it's off. So right now it turned everything off for me. So if I watch this animation, you can see that everything is off right now. Nothing is working the way that we want it. So what I need to do is turn them on again. So I'm going to go in here, hit 1, enter. Notice it's not pink. That means it's not, we don't have a key set. So you can press S to set a keyframe again. And let's go ahead and turn this on. Or you can right click, key selected. That'll make it pink again. So now we set a keyframe. Go back to the hip, turn it on, press enter, hit S. Now we have keyframes on there. So now it should work again because we turned them on. So if I move this up to frame 20, you can see now that everything is working the way that we originally wanted, and everything now is keyed on. Alright, so let's go ahead and set a keyframe on frame 20 on everything just to make sure. So everything is on right now. Hit a keyframe on frame 20 because this is going to be the last frame where everything's going to be attached. After frame like 20, I want them to let go, right? Just let go, Jack. So hit another key on the right arm group and another keyframe on the hip group on frame 20. So everything should work fine. Everything's on from frame 1 to frame 20. The hip, everything has, okay, just, you need to double check. Everything has keyframes because if things don't work out, you're not going to know why. So make sure everything has a key. Your controllers, your locators, and your groups. Got it? Get it? Good. So now from here, I want them to let go. I want to be able to move the character away and have the box just stay there. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's go frame 21. Let's say, well, I can say, frame 30. It doesn't matter. Go to left arm group. And I'm going to set another key right there. Right arm group, frame 21, hit S. Hip group control, hit another keyframe. Now here, I'm going to turn everything off. So go back to the groups, say 0, enter. Right arm, 0, enter. And I'm going to show you, it might not work, but I'm going to show you that we still need to copy and paste the location. Let's see if it does. Okay, no, this might work right now. So if I come in here and I go to frame 30 and I move them away, notice now the box is not moving with the hips. So actually this might work here. But again, we have stretchy arms. So because this is an IK, I need to come in here and set a position on frame 20 for the left arm locator, for the right arm locator, and then now frame 30, he's going to move away. So now it's detached. This arm's going to move away. So now frame 1, everything's attached to frame 20, attached, attached, attached. Boom, frame 20, everything's off, and he comes off. And he's like, goodbye, box. Bye-bye. I can even do this if I'm in world you come in here and you select the world, you can select both IKs and the hips, and usually you don't get that weird offset. Right? And then now there's your animation. On, up, let go. Bye bye box. Select that and the box goes. Do I have a keyframe on that one still? Let's go ahead and set a keyframe on that. Why is the left arm still attached? Let me look at this. Why is the left arm attached? I probably missed something. So the left arm. So left arm group. Where is it? The box. Probably did not turn off something here in the left arm group. Aha! So this blend parent, it's still on. I don't think I turned it off. So I just forgot that. It's my fault. So it's good that I like to leave these little mistakes on here in case, you guys run into these and you're like me. And I believe now the box can go flying off into thin air. Like, shh, goodbye box. Animation, one more time, check. 20, let go, goodbye box. And then from there, you guys can go ahead and animate your stuff. So that was it. I know it seems kind of crazy, but go ahead and follow these steps. Both arms and IK. Create the locator. Don't move it when you first create it on the origin of the grid. Just, you can rename it right there if you want. And then quickly group the locator. And then from there, you parent constraint the group. Well, this is if you're doing that one. If not, just go ahead and look at that one. This is up to you, depending on which video you're looking at, right? And that's pretty much it. That is how we do intermediate to advanced parent constraints. Now, a lot of YouTube videos out there don't really show you that. I had a lot of issues when I was learning this, like how do you attach two hands to a gun and still be able to animate the hands separately. So for example, here you have the luxury now of, remember, from frame 1 to 20 it's attached, but because we have that locator thing, we could still move the hands however we want. Let's say he's now grabbing the box from the bottom. So there, it's in the front. You can animate it. Now it moves to the back and it keeps it on the back. Well, actually no, because frame 20 is a copy of frame 1. So I can copy this frame, paste it, and now it's still there. And there we go. So he's grabbing it from the front. He changes his mind. He wants to grab it from the side. So he lets that go. Goes up, nope, from the back. Pushes it up. And he says, goodbye, box. Goodbye. So, bye-bye.